Let's talk about my rookie predictions for this year and how they are going to do, what I think the Chiefs' record will be, my top 5 all-time favorite Chiefs players, take a look at potential free agent, trade suggestions, and much freaking more. But first, how about those? What's up, guys? My name is Cole, aka the Beard of Wonder, or sometimes known as the Red Beard Pirate King of the 7 Chiefs Seas, and I do daily news about the Chiefs and the NFL overall, so I'm going to need you to sub if you're new, hit that like button if you think Mahomes is going to shock the league this year with Tyreek Hill gone, and let's get into this video. This is going to be a different video than normal. As most of you may already know, me and my wife are out of town on vacation to celebrate our 9th year wedding anniversary this weekend, so this video is simply a Q&A answering all kinds of questions from you all. So without further ado, let's get into these freaking questions. Monster Jam Fan 0311 asks if there's an AFC West team I absolutely despise, and without a shadow of a doubt, it is the Oakland Raiders. Yes, I said Oakland. Jeremy Amador says, I was wondering your thoughts on the Chiefs trading for a receiver to fill the big ol' void left by Tyreek, maybe like a DK or Debo. To be honest, I don't think they're going to trade. And I don't know if that we should. I think we stay where we are with the receivers this season. And if anything, we make a move for someone on the defensive line. But I'm a bit doubtful of that as well, to be honest, unless it's a small move. Maybe after training camp or preseason when more cuts happen. Kasim2 asks, do you think our new wide receiver core will do us better than last year? And that's a really tough question to answer because of right now, it is 100% pure speculation. But if Kelce stays healthy as well as most of the receiving core for the majority of the season, this year's talent level, the overall floor of it, is certainly higher than last. So I do think on paper at least, this year's receiving core along with Kelce will have the potential to be even more effective than last year. Yes, I do. Mud Nugget asks, do you think the Chiefs have the best linebacker room in the NFL? If so, who's a close second? And if not, who does? Honestly, I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed when it comes to ranking particular units of teams, especially linebackers, but I do think our unit looks pretty freaking good with Nick Bolton, Willie Gay, and the addition of Leo Chenal. I would at least put us in the top 10 to 15. You can argue a little bit each way, I guess, but Brendan Deep of FTN Fantasy, I believe, ranks the Chiefs linebacker unit as 19th overall, which I feel is a bit harsh. So as far as other teams and how they fare, I don't know, but I do wish we had Micah Parsons. Not saying the Cowboys have the best linebacker unit, but I would like that guy on our team. Scott 80 Allen says, do you believe we will have a top 10 defense this year? And who will our best defensive player be? I would be happy with a top 15 defense, to be honest, which is where I'm hoping and praying they will be this year. As long as we're there, top 15, I feel the Chiefs will do as well as they are able this season, considering the difficulty of the schedule overall. As far as best defensive player, I feel like Nick Bolton will continue to shine and possibly be the bright spot again, though I kind of hope deep down within my ginger soul that I do have, by the way, that it is George Karlaftis, because if he pops off this year, that's going to say great things about our D-line and will help us out tremendously. Scott Crosser asks, who are the best options we have to return kicks? And honestly, my gut answer echoes his thoughts here. I think Pacheco makes the roster for his special teams ability, specifically kick and punt returns, and also as running back depth. So Pacheco is a strong check. You like that? For me, probably the strongest, though of course Mecole Hardman can do that as well if needed. And yeah, I guess I'm copying your answer, but I could also see Sky Moore taking reps if needs be. So there you go. You asked the question and gave your answer, and I flipped your answer back to you. Anthony Solis asks, do you think Veach should still address the D-line or let it ride? Like Russell Wilson, let's ride. Well, I answered this a little bit above, but I think Veach should address the D-line depth with another veteran pass rusher. I hope he does, but will he? Only God truly knows. But training camp and preseason, somewhere around that time, there's going to be cuts happening. That's where I believe the move will be made, if it happens. Joseph Williams asks, outside of the first round picks, McDuffie, Karlaftis, who will have the biggest season as a Chiefs rookie? And to that, I say Leo Chenal. I hope he does. I would love it if he dominates, to be honest. Sky Moore is someone I would love to as well, but the receiving room is so freaking competitive. It's going to be crazy out there for him. You know who else could be a sleeper, though? Darian Kinnard. He could absolutely be amazing at right tackle, especially with Niang injured and all that stuff. So I know you asked for one, and I kind of spit off a few, but it's hard to pick just one because it's a little bit of a shot in the dark at the moment, depending on how they translate from college to the big leagues. Lev Mass asks, you have to choose between Mahomes winning another MVP with record-breaking numbers, but an early playoff exit this season, or the Royals winning the World Series next season with a down season from Mahomes, but you can gamble on a possible playoff run. Which is better for KC? Well, the best for KC in general is that both teams win all the time. But what's better for me, in my opinion? I do not care about baseball. It is freaking boring. I would rather watch paint dry. So the Royals could honestly lose every freaking year for all I care. But when they win, it's really good for the city. And I'm born and raised in Kansas City, so I like when they win. But I would rather have the Chiefs make it deep into the playoffs with a more steady, less record-breaking season all day. I know that's not what you asked, but that's the answer you get, bud. Cool Ghost 12 asks, hello, Cole. Do you think this year will be playing a lot more like when Alex Smith played small ball instead of big yard plays? Great question. I do think, though, that Mahomes started to do that last season. Second half, specifically, the too high shell freaking forced it. So I think we're going to be continuing that this season. But if we establish more of a running game, as well as Mahomes spreading the ball all around, it's going to open up the deep ball back up. And I don't care about the deep ball per se, but it's fun to watch. But at the end of the day, all I care about is moving the chains, one first down at a time, and getting those W's. Midwest Ninja says, I think the biggest sleeper on our team right now is defensive end Joshua Kando. Dude is probably the best athlete at edge we have, and right now if Clark or Karlaftis gets injured, he's probably our starter. The lack of defensive end moves we've made tells me A, we're about to make a big move, or B, we're content with what we have. Kando needs to be talked about more, but no one mentions him ever. Well, I agree a little bit with your A and B comment. The Chiefs either know something we don't, which that's probably the case, and this is also probably the case. They have further plans to help further fortify the defensive line, and there's a C. Is this the right way? There's also a C to this equation. The Chiefs have been trying and have not been able to land people that they wanted. But the reason why nobody talks about Kando is because they're not able to put pads on yet. So come training camp, if he flashes, he will be talked about 100%. David Land, not Air, not C, but Land, asked who my favorite Chiefs player was when I became a fan. He loves Christian Okoye, and me too, but the first player I remember liking on the Chiefs as a kid was Derek Thomas. He was drafted in 89. I was born in 91. So from a very young age, I remember my dad with a Derek Thomas jersey on his body, screaming at the TV and throwing those little bad call bricks at it. So I'm going to have to say the first one for me was DT58, the freaking man himself. Louis Duke, I don't know, says, what do you think of our late round corners? I think one of them can be a starter. Yeah, I've heard more chatter, some decent chatter about Jalen Watson than anyone else as far as late rounders go, at least from what I can recall off the top of my head. And then, of course, they took a chance on fourth round cornerback Joshua Williams as well. Tough to call it right now, but I see McDuffie, Snead, Fenton, Lonnie Johnson Jr. all starting with Watson and Williams fighting for spots as well. But again, it's a very early projection. Frank Barajas asked me when the 10,000 sub live stream is happening. Yeah, I was supposed to do a live stream to celebrate 10,000 subs, but I guess live streaming was not enabled when I tried to go live that evening. It was a mess. We'll just say that. But yeah, 15,000 subs. We're 500 away. We're going to do one 100%. No excuses from me or my beard either. Curtis Larson asked me for my top 5 Chiefs of all time. Not necessarily my favorite, but in importance to the team. Well, that's a tough question, mainly because I'm not a Chiefs historian, A, but B, I'm pretty young in the game, only 31, and have been watching them since the 90s, but by the time I was old enough to really get a grasp, it was around the year 2000. So I'm going to go from around that time frame, although there are others on this list that are more impactful, such as Len Dawson, for example. But here we go. Will Shields, Priest Holmes / Jamal Charles, you like that? Tony Gonzalez, Travis Kelce, and Patrick Mahomes. That's what I'm going with. That's So Brody asks what I think our record will be, and I say roughly 11-6. Yeah, that's the right math. 11-6. And we make the playoffs. As far as rookies go, I think McDuffie will have a decent year. Karl Loftus, I pray does. But I think Brian Cook should flash a bit, as well as Chenal. But again, tough to tell right now. Israel Gonzalez asks, if there's a free agent I think we should sign, and nobody stands way out in my mind right now because it's pretty late and most of the good guys have been taken and a lot of them signed for way too much money, if we're going to be honest. But once, again, I'm going to say this one more time, once training camp and preseason rolls around, there's going to be some intriguing cuts for us, and that's what I have my eyes currently on, and that's when I'll give y'all more updates. Elias Butcher says to trade CEH and McCole Hardman for Saquon, and I say no. I like Saquon, but we don't really need that guy right now, in my opinion. It would be nice, but not at the cost of trading both McCole and CEH this season. We need both of them right meow. Why did I meow? I do not know. Brandon Jones asks, should the Chiefs shop Travis Kelce or ride him till the wheels fall off? I don't even like this question. You're getting blocked. I'm just playing. I don't know, man. This is a sad question to think about because I hate to even think about it, but honestly, the NFL is a business, and Kelce will either retire a Chief by hanging it up when the Chiefs refuse to extend him, or he will go the Gonzalez route for different reasons, but same end goal, to play as long as humanly possible for whatever team will take him. I can honestly see him retiring when the Chiefs are done with him, instead of going to try to play for another team, and instead heading into the entertainment and/or analyst broadcasting realm. So I hate that question. But if the Chiefs were to trade him, they'd get a bunch for him, especially if he balls out again this season. I don't even like to talk about it. James Buchanan asked my thoughts on Mike Ross, and I do like him. I think he has an uphill battle to make this roster, both him and Jack Cochran. Though from what I've seen, Cochran may have the current edge, but they're going to solidify that come training camp. Either of them make it. I see them playing a lot of special teams, and that's how they're going to get a roster lock primarily at first. Thomas Francisco asks, if my wife got my beard an anniversary gift, and sadly the answer is no, but she lets me keep the beard, so that's a gift in and of itself. All right, guys, make sure to leave a comment below to potentially be featured in an upcoming vid sub for more daily news like this. And check out this video here from a channel called All Chiefed Up. They're pretty new, or newish, I think, and they're putting out some nice content that you all may enjoy. And until next time, let's go. Let's freaking go. How about those?